Welcome back to another Hourglass Productions episode of Time With. This time I'm with Mr. Alexander Kazanowski. Mr. Kazanowski, can you introduce yourself, let the people know who you are, what you do, and kind of what your career focuses on?
Yes, thank you. I'm Xander Kazanowski. I'm the founder and CEO of Wurk Services, and essentially we're a platform that connects freelancers and businesses with clients. We allow people to, log on and start making money doing what they love. So basically what Wurk Services is, right now it's a website, but our app is pending approval from the Apple Store. And we're looking to just establish an area where people can just hop on and connect and provide, services to one another at the best rate, essentially cutting out, middle management and whatnot. We've seen that a lot of contractors are very skilled and they can do all this stuff on their own, but for some reason they're working for, some company because they can't find gigs on their own. Or the whole idea is, do what you do best, let us handle the rest, and that's what we're up to. We're doing a lot of the logistics and payments, and we just get the people dispatched to the point where they're ready to perform their job.
Gotcha. So that's very cool. Like you're available pretty much to anybody in the world, of course, where the app is available.
Yeah. So basically, we do everything, ranging from babysitting to exterior siding repair, and yeah, we're available anywhere that we have service providers already. So we're currently working our way through various states, and we hope to be across the whole country by this time next year.
Awesome. That is great. And congratulations on the startup. And I know I talked to you a while back, and we were supposed to do the podcast a while back, but for whatever reason we couldn't. And here we are. I know a lot has happened between then, so I think that's good that happened in a way, so we can talk about what has happened between that time, because I'm sure it's a lot. Yeah,
a lot of stuff has occurred. We've been running around like crazy. I've been onboarding. We were posting jobs and just getting, 300 applicants. And recently, the other day, I posted an internship position. We got 47 applicants. So we're just onboarding a bunch of people, getting more voices to kind of preach the gospel, right? Come on, get paid for doing what you love at any time you'd like. And we're just building out our network, trying to get the word out there and have more people sign up on both ends, both as service providers and as clients, so we can just make their life a little bit easier.
Yes, sir. And lately I've been doing DoorDash. So what you have to offer is not the same thing, but I feel like I can relate to it in a way. Can you explain how it would be like similar to like the way their platform is set up to what you have to offer, and how it's different?
So both are, gig economy type deals, and essentially what DoorDash does is, they connect the delivery driver with the restaurants, with the customers, and we kind of do something pretty similar. And essentially, people can just log on, and if they want to do one gig and never, use Wurk Services again, that's cool. And if they want to, log on and work full time, they can do that as well. And essentially, we seek to provide a little bit more value by kind of a lot of people to utilize their skills, their skills and their assets. So basically, we help them monetize what they're good at, and maybe it goes beyond driving. So it could be, delivery and moving, but it could also be, someone's especially prone to a certain skill set, like, math, and they can tutor, other people in that domain. And it's just really awesome because when people are able to use their skills and benefit others and make money doing so, I just see such an increased positive mindset, and it's just beautiful to watch.
And I see endless possibilities and opportunities too through that. Like for me, growing up and trying to do all different kinds of things just to see what I love doing. For example, people like to use the word jack of all trades. I feel like if we were all on that kind of mindset, we would all be able to find our passion sooner than just looking for a job that'll pay the bills.
And that's the way to do it. I mean, my favorite thing to do in this entire world is connect people with opportunities and help people get paid for doing what they love. So it works perfectly because, our company essentially helps people get paid for doing what they love. So jack of all trade, master of one. That's how you are an optimal human being, and this is a good way to get your foot in a lot of different waters and basically figure out what's going on and what you do enjoy, what you don't. And, if someone hops on a job and say, wow, I really did not like digging that hole, then okay, you never got to dig holes again. But if someone hops on like, I love digging that hole, it made me feel so good afterwards. It was a great workout. I got paid for working out. Then, they can run around digging holes like crazy. And that's the coolest thing. I get that freedom of choice.
Yeah, so it not only cuts out the middleman, but it also cuts out that long process of having to apply for the job, seeing if you like the training, the environment, and whatnot. That's
right.
Amazing. So let's say
really
I'm
awesome.
I'm new to this whole, I'm brand new to work services. I go to wurkservices.com. That's WURK services.com. What's the first thing I should do if I want to start looking into running my freelance business?
Yeah, so we have a website redesign coming out in the next couple of days. But right now, if you go to the top right corner and just click on the button that says Become a Worker, or if you have already a developed business, it's really cool because we've been able to bootstrap a bunch of companies. I think 3 or 4 companies have Kim right out of Work Services. So we start directing traffic, and the person gets going, they get motivated, they bring on employees of their own, and they got a business. They're all of a sudden they're a CEO. We're out here creating CEOs. But essentially, you can become a work business partner, and that's when we'd have like a strategic relationship. Or you can become a work services or become a worker, and they would just come on and just be a subcontracted individual, and we would go out to them whenever something relevant comes up. And oftentimes we actually set some marketing campaigns into action when we get someone with a different sort of skill set than we are normally used to. So it's really individualized, and sooner rather than later, we're hoping to have a customizable experience so that the user can actually add any service they're capable of performing, and that way they could, you could visit a user's profile and just book them for any individual item that they're listing as a service they offer. And we're really excited to do that so that every single service, anything that anyone's capable of doing, can be offered for others, both remote and in person.
Gotcha. So to get this straight, what you have on the site right now is services that you are able to, in a way, collaborate and offer, not really just things that people have ideas for, but that's something you definitely want to get to one day, or am I?
Yeah, so essentially, this is what we had in the older version, but with the new version, we kind of we're combing back a bit because we just had such a data influx, and it was kind of hard to organize everything. But we're re-rolling out the profiles. So essentially now, right now, as of now, like a worker can make a profile and they're logged in, and then they get relevant bookings. But we want people to be able to book these workers directly. So they see this guy, maybe his name is Manny P, and he's just the greatest tutor when it comes to, English or math, whatever. And you could just see that here's all his accolades, here's all his skills, here's his availabilities, here's what he's capable of performing, and here are his prices. And then you just click right there, and we connect the two of them and make it happen. So right now we're working on the tech. We've got a pretty awesome development team that is really dynamic because we were really all over the place, and they're really capable of just bringing stuff out on a bootstrap budget and just making some awesome tech.
That is amazing. It makes me think like of a Walmart for services in a way.
That's what it comes down to. We're looking to be a large platform that can offer a bunch of services and just have a bunch of providers so that someone could find the best provider for themselves.
Yeah. That's cool. What were the major challenges you had to face doing this? Because it's so new and nothing really that's been done before. I mean, I see Fiverr, but of course you're taking a different approach. So what were the biggest challenges for you?
So what it comes down to is everyone's thinking, oh, you're spreading yourself too thin, you're doing all this stuff at once. But the reality of the situation is we know the process. And the process is relatively the same when it comes down to, a babysitter or a landscaper, and the only difference is the expert that we're calling upon. So we have really great people that we know are capable of performing great things, And so when it comes down to it, connecting the two parties is not a problem. The real problem is, and this is a classical problem, goes back, to the times of the dinosaurs. What came first, the chicken or the egg? So it's kind of like that. We get a booking, and we're like, we got to find a relevant, and maybe the booking's out in Nome, Alaska, and now we got to start calling upon contractors in Alaska to make this happen, or else we're not doing our job. So what it comes down to is we try to have a good Rolodex of contractors and service providers that we can call upon, so that in any given area, when someone does reach out and need someone dispatched, we're capable of doing so. So over time, as people create profiles, it's going to get only more efficient. And what we're truly looking to do is create the closest thing to a perfectly efficient labor market there is here on Earth.
Okay. So you do the footwork when the people don't have their profile set up on your site, if somebody is requesting that service on your site, correct?
Right. So say we offer, an electrician service, and we're doing marketing campaigns in areas where we've got great electricians. Maybe someone in an area that we're not doing marketing in needs an electrician. They stumble across our service through, maybe something, a non-traditional route like a podcast or some video or some content, and they want to utilize our platform. Then we'll go ahead and dip into, we'll use our guys, our logistics people will come up with a solution. So they'll find a well-screened contractor with great reviews in the area, and we'll connect that person with the contractor.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I appreciate your work in that. Like, there's a lot of people who they just don't know what to do first when they need a service. Like, they don't know what to Google, who to ask, who to call, and you're the man that's pretty much making that possible for them.
Yeah, and that's a huge problem, because when you're lost in that situation, and you're in the endless abyss that is Google, and there's just millions upon millions of service providers and all sorts of things, you don't know who's who. They might not be who they claim to be. They might not be well screened. The whole website might be a scam. It could just be up to take consultation fees or whatever. You're not really too sure, and even if you do look up some of the reviews, they could be fraudulent, and certain sites are better than others for checking people's backgrounds, but you're never certain until you're certain. So oftentimes we'll test out contractors with, maybe I need something done personally because I'm involved in, some real estate, but maybe I know someone close that needs something done, and we'll test them out with small jobs before we ever have, a large ticket item, so that we know that, maybe this plumber comes in and he's not what he says he is, and we only lose $1,300 as opposed to, 13,000 or maybe 130,000 if the whole house is flooded. And that's what it comes down to, is just kind of testing the contractors a little bit and seeing if they're truly capable, and if they are, then well, let's go. Let's get you bookings. You're great at what you do, and let's time to get you paid.
Yeah. What got you started with this? Like, what made you wanna? What brought this idea to you?
Yeah, so I was originally going to school for quantitative economics and Mandarin, and then I was like, well, there's no real way to be creative in this domain. You can't really get too fancy when it comes to creativity in the sciences or in language. So what I figured is, I am being boxed in, I'm being pigeonholed, and I really don't like that. And at the end of the road, if I did grab this degree, what's truly waiting for me? Something that I dread, like a full-time job, working for someone else, working on someone else's vision, someone else's dream. That really couldn't be me, because I knew that I had a certain thing in mind, and I had an optimal reality that was down the line, and I knew that wasn't the trajectory to take if I wanted to get there. I knew that I had to do something different. I knew I had to have the freedom to run around and do what I want when I want to do it, and I wanted to provide that to other people. So I had the vision in mind that, why not hop on to a platform and do what you love, make money wherever you are in the world, and just keep rolling around and living life at your pace. Why clock in? And that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, and I mean, what brought me up to that question was because I think I can relate to the way you think in a lot of ways. You get creative, and when you get so creative, you get so many ideas in your head that you can probably do them all, but yet you can't do them all. So in some way you gotta let it out or put it out in the universe so you can see it happen and be pleased with the outcome. Because if you hold it in yourself, you're being greedy and you're not allowing that creativity to grow.
Right, and not only that, it hurts you. It hurts you physically. If you know you have something in you, and that word potential is just such a word, because, I mean, truly, if you're not reaching your potential, you know that you're slowly dying every day, every second of every day. You're withering away, and you're not actualizing your purpose, and it hurts. It hurts you down to the core if you're not doing what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, time's running out for sure. Yes, sir. I want to get to a point where I offer like portable studio services, like myself, and I would like to encourage for people to like do this one day. You know, me doing these podcasts, I also do music on the side. So like, I'm sure there's people like, you know, that have their businesses here on Work Services that would like to, you know, record their ads or whatnot, but they don't know where to go to record a commercial or an ad. So we would have these kind of studio services. They'll come to you, record you, edit your stuff, and then send it back to you. You wouldn't even have to go anywhere. You know, it's portable. And that's what this world is coming to. Everything's just so conveniently coming to you. And I think we have to adapt to that change.
That's exactly it. And that's what it comes down to is we've been looking to offer more, you know, digital skills and whatnot. And when it comes down to video editing and audio and all that, and if you have the equipment, you know, I know people right now that would be, you know, down to book today, and that's what it comes down to is just being able to be that that platform that's like very dynamic and can take on more and just kind of connect everyone and everyone's benefiting. That's the biggest thing. It's a symbiosis of sorts. It's mutual growth on all ends because we're getting the person who's in demand of the service, you know, the best person at the best price, and then and we're out here just doing what we love to do, doing what we do best, and just handling that transaction.
Yeah, exactly. Things are getting done because everybody's actually doing what they want versus a job like somebody's being forced to go do this just because, you know, they got to pay their bills or whatnot. Like here, people are doing what they want, so they're going to put as much time as they necessarily want to. If I wanted
the passion's there.
Yeah,
you win every time.
The passion, yeah. If I wanted to put my service on workservices.com today, let's say, what all would I need? How much would I need as far as funding goes? And what would you recommend that I get together for you?
Yeah, so you need absolutely $0 in funding. We don't charge anything. We only get paid when you get paid. So, and that doesn't mean, you know, we got you a booking, you know, you owe us this, which a lot of our competitors do. We're not a lead generation service. No, we don't do that at all. What we do is we handle the transaction, and unless the client pays you, you know, we're not getting paid a dime. So essentially you sign up as a service provider, and there's a box that you can enter all the things you're capable of performing. And after you do that, you know, right now we don't offer the service that you're talking about. So what we would see is when it comes in, we'd say, oh wow, that's a great service. We'll throw that up, and then you'd be our sole provider when it comes down to something like that. And so we build it out, but it would be just a place where people can make bookings for, you know, any sorts of editing or studio recording, whatever. And from there, you know, clients will make bookings, and then the bookings will go to you or whoever else might be capable of providing a similar service.
That's very humbling of you, like, to do it that way. Like, I mean, a lot of people do it for the money, you know?
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. I mean, there's a million ways to make money, right? And you can make money back. You're doing so many different things. But what I'm all about is purpose. And I know I can go out there and, you know, sell houses or sell cars or, you know, sell diamonds, you know, and make $1 million a year doing it. But that doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is the freedom to go out and you know, create things as I seek to create them, and the freedom to live life on my own accord, and to wake up in the morning and do what I want, and you know, consume the content I want, say what I want, speak my mind without fear of retribution. And I think that's the biggest thing is when you have that freedom in your hands, you want to bring it to other people, because it's really powerful. It impacts you in such a way where if you're self-made and you're running around and you're free, you want to go and you want to free everyone else. And you see people
Yes,
stuck
sir.
in cages that they put themselves in, and you're just like, ooh, why? And so and when people are looking to get free themselves, and you say, they're ready or they're looking to just kind of get going, it invigorates something back and brings me back to the beginning days when I was, living on my friends' couches, and I'm just ready to, help these people rise up, because we rise by building others up. And I'm not saying that in a selfish way. It's just a simple fact. There's no way you're going to, climb in this
Do it
world
alone
unless you're helping others.
Yeah, I agree. Yep. I had to be in a situation like that myself, and I had to love myself before I could love anybody else. And when I found myself, loved myself, I was able to pretty much love the whole world. And like you said, I just want to help as many people as I can. I'm doing it one by one, but eventually it's going to get to a point where I can help more than one person at a time successfully. And that's the goal. That's the goal, for people to just wake up and live their dream, their passion, not look at money as the thing that they really need, but the stuff that makes them happy, the stuff they can't really put any value to.
Right. Money's just a tool at the end of it. I mean, what is it? It's something that we use to transact. It's nothing to sit on. I mean, I hate having substantial cash in the bank account, because you know why? I mean, inflation first off, but second, it's not a representation of anything other than sweat and endurance. And I think if you could go out and utilize that and use it to grow and use it to help others, I mean, there's no other way to do it. Why would you not? And you could throw it in stocks and just reap some dividends, but you can also have complete control over where that money goes, and you can use that to create more freedom for yourself and others.
Yeah. 100% agree. Yes, sir. Let's see. I was gonna ask you what's like your taste in music, because that's what the podcast kind of like ties in. Let's talk about music and everything else you love, because I'm sure like your taste in music inspired you and inspired some stories that connect with work services.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, when I was out, just that's all I had. In the beginning, I dropped out of school. I had $7, and I was alone. So it was the music that kept me going, and I'm that's a really great question, because there's just stuff that touches your soul, like the old folk music in our Woody Guthrie, Arlo Guthrie type stuff. I'm a big fan of American folk. I love it all. I love the classic stuff. I love folk rock. I love classic rock, and that's what it comes down to. Is when people are out there creating music from the soul, and they're just putting their heart out there, putting their story out there, man, it touches you in such a way, and it motivates you to just be better. Just to go out and create.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like the energies we put in what we do is transferred in ways that we can't explain. Music, food, work, whatever it is. And when we have positive energy inside of us, like it lives way longer than when we have a negative energy in us.
Yeah, and it just feels better, and it's way more effective to enact change. I mean, if you run around and you say, I hate this, I hate that, and this is miserable, and I'm miserable because of this, well then, you're going to hate everything and you're going to be miserable. But if you find the light in whatever situation, and you can always do that, well then you'll always have a good mindset, and you'll always be able to come out of those ruts when you go into them. And that's what it comes down to. Creation is key.
Yeah.
Well, that's really cool. I didn't know that this was a music podcast. I actually just got engaged to a musician myself, and we've been running around, finding her venues and trying to get some demos out there and stuff. So it's just been a new scene for me. I'm a quasi music promoter, and I'm just introduced into this scene. It's really cool. It's a lot of love,
Yeah, cool. That is cool. Like, I mean, with me, the way I started was like, I've always done poetry. I've always written, but like it was never something that I mean, of course, music was always around, but it was nothing like, oh, I want to create that. I just always wrote naturally. And then my cousin one day was like, man, you should rap. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, man, you got a good sense of style and creativity. You should do it. And it grew to a point where I'm like, okay, I like music. I love music. But just like you, connects me with reality, the stories behind it. I want to push it to the next level where music is meaningful to people. So let's create meaningful music, and then let's tie in the conversations that connect people with the music and push that. And that will allow like networking, a lot of possibilities. For example, this one, you have somebody who's listening to music go onto the podcast, and then they're like, hey, I need to get this chore done at the end of the afternoon, but you just heard wurkservices.com, so you go on there and you're like, hey, I need that done. And it's very in a form where, not like back in the day where you had to look for it. It's just kind of there already, you know?
Yeah, and that's the thing. We're always there. Anyone can make a booking at any time at wurkservices.com, and that's the thing. We're the go-to. We're looking to be when anyone needs anything done for home services or any services, tutoring, landscaping, whatever. I want them, when everyone's using voice to do everything, I want them to be like, hey, Google, like, go to Wurk Services, get me a electrician. And I want them to know that because it's coming through Wurk Services, they know that they're going to get a reputable electrician, and everything will be good. And they know that if anything doesn't go as planned, that not only will we make sure everything's cool and we cover everything, but that we're the people who answer. There's not an electrician who is maybe a solo dolo guy, and he rolls in there and he does a bad job, and then he gets paid and he leaves, and then they never hear from him again. They leave voicemails, and that's a problem a lot of people run into. But through the platform, we could act as the overseers, as the intermediaries, and we can make sure every transaction goes over smooth.
Makes sense. That's cool too, because it's not like how would you say it? With one company, like I feel like it's in a way less weight on your shoulders. It could be more because you have a lot of more services involved, but it's less weight because you know that at the end of the day you were doing it to help that person out, and it was up to them to do their part, and they didn't. And I mean, they kind of failed themselves, not you.
Yep, that's what it comes down to, man. All I'm doing is just saying, here's opportunity, and if you want opportunity, come to me. If you don't come to me, right? And so over time, we figure out who's real and who's not. And there's a lot of people who, all talk, I'm ready to run, I'm ready to, make money, I'm ready to do this, I'm ready to do that and the other thing. And then the next day when they're supposed to show up, they don't show up. You're like, okay, well, on to the next, and
actions speak louder than words, yes, sir. Yeah,
exactly.
It's funny that you bring that up though, because the first time when we booked, I know it was a confusion more than anything. You had booked twice, and then one of the times, I believe I had just texted you and told you, hey man, I'm sorry, I didn't update my schedule, so this one won't work. And then you're like, yeah, that's fine, you schedule the next one. But I guess you had forgot, so when it came down to the first one, you're like, oh, it was a no-show. And I was like, man, I really hope he can like rebook though, because when I went onto the website, like I was very attracted to it, like just everything. Personally, when I saw like the real estate, like that stuff I'm into, everything I saw was just like, it was like glory for me,
Yeah, it's really great because the whole idea is like, we're here to help people get paid for doing what they love, connect them with relevant opportunities that they can, monetize. And that's one thing that a lot of people aren't doing, they want you to go down these channels and get so overwhelmed with doing specific things, and then they're like, okay, this is where you're at, just do this forever. Well, we're more dynamic than that. I myself, I have ADHD. I couldn't sit down and do the same thing every day, and I understand that a lot of people feel the same way, and maybe not to the same extent as me, but I just think when it comes down to it, people should have the freedom of choice to work where they want, when they want, as much as they want or as little as they want. And it's going to be a good feat, but we're out here helping everyone who's looking for opportunity find it.
Oh, yeah. Like, I'm one of the people that hates routine. If I did routine every day, like the same thing every day, I feel like I'm living the same life every day, and I would hate it because I'm like, what's the point of living if it's every day going to be the same? Some people enjoy routine, though. I don't know if you heard of Dave Ramsey or you tap into Dave Ramsey. I'm sure you have. But
yeah,
you know how
I've heard a lot from a lot of guys in similar, a lot of self-employed people reference Dave Ramsey and his work, but I'm not too familiar with this stuff. I know there's this one guy I've been all about, and he's kind of anti-Dave Ramsey just because Dave Ramsey just doesn't understand the power of leverage, and he thinks all debt is bad, and it's like, that's not the case. But I don't know. I've heard of some Dave Ramsey stuff. I'm sure he's got some great insights.
Yeah, and what I was going to as far as like the routine goes, like some people are okay with the routine. Some people are okay with doing the same thing every day and doing that for the rest of their life, like to keep them busy, right? Which is fine, but a lot of people who do that today, they're not doing what they love in that routine. So they gotta find what they love. And I would encourage anybody who's like not happy with their job or whatever they're doing, like try out work services one day at least, and just see what they can venture to, and
right.
I'm sure they'll find that passion.
The cool thing is it could be, and we do this a lot actually. There's a lot of people with full-time jobs that are using our platform. They're logging on after they get off of work, because maybe they're trying to just get a little bit ahead, or they really love doing a specific thing, or they're logging on the weekends, and it's like we are not discriminating. Anyone who's doing any project, we would love to have them. We don't care if you're going to work full time or you're going to work 1 hour a year. We would love to help you utilize your skills and get paid for doing that. So that's the thing. There's no risk in trying it out, and whatever you have to offer, I'm sure we can help you get paid for it. And let's make it happen.
Well, you've definitely earned my commitment. Like as soon as we get off, I'm gonna go on there and start doing that, because Fiverr discouraged me where they I don't know if they do like a membership fee but they take a cut or something, right? And
yeah.
I don't know. It's just the way the platform is set up. I just can't find comfort in it. And like I said, as soon as I saw your website, it was glory.
One of the cool things that we do is so you set your rate, right? So say your mobile studio, you want to get paid $60 an hour. Awesome. You'll use our platform. We'll connect with clients. We'll get you paid $60 an hour. And what we do is we just might mark it up. We might mark it up to 65 or 70, and that way the client, they're getting the best value. They're agreeing to pay for this, and you are getting what you're worth, and everyone's happy.
Yeah, cool. You're not following that profit margin that these big companies usually follow, like they double the price and all that stuff. That's usually what they do.
Yeah, we've seen some crazy stuff. I mean, one went under, and I think I'm not going to name names. I don't know. I'm not trying to open myself up to lawsuits, but they were doing 3x, 4x. Sometimes this is 7 times the amount that the worker was being paid. That's what they were charging the client. People are quick to figure that out. We're looking to be as fair as possible, and we're going to try to provide so much value that there's no reason why people would want to leave our platform, both clients and workers. And that's what it comes down to. Is we're here to just kind of, be those overseers, make everything go smooth, and we're not looking to take any more than we deserve. And that's the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm. Being genuine, like being true to self, really. Like the fake will always collapse.
It's so true.
So,
Facade's crumble. Marble will stand. It's been standing since the time of the Greeks,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like you having that heart already, like you're giving back already. So the good karma is coming back regardless. So as long as you keep that up, I mean, but
the philosophy that we've had, or I've had at least since the beginning, is just feed and be fed. You're not no one's just gonna come up to you and be like, oh, here's all of me. Just go ahead. No, you have to provide value to get value back. Otherwise, you're stealing.
Yes, sir. And you had the struggle to where it made or broke you. What was that struggle? Like, what made you have this heart? Because I mean, it's something,
Yeah, there's a lot of things. I think I might. I don't know. I think later down the line I might open up more. But yeah, there's a lot of things that I've been through personally that just kind of like, it adds scar tissue, and that scar tissue will make you tough, and it'll make you realize that, life's not all sunshine and roses. But the cool thing is that when you get through hard things, you only get stronger. If you can get through it and come out the other end a better person, you're so much stronger for going through that trial and the tribulation. I know it's a cliche, but like it's so true. If you go through tough times, you know, heartbreak, you know, misery, you know, substance abuse, whatever. I've met so many people who pulled themselves out of these pits and channeled that energy to something good. And not that they're running through life with a chip on their shoulder, but they're just reorienting that sort of grief or that pain or that suffering, and they're seeking to alleviate that in their fellow man. And I think that's where I'm at, and those are the people I look up to, all in that same situation.
Yeah, that's how I managed to like express myself, was through music, writing in a poetic form where you're writing down your problems, but you're not writing them down to where people understand exactly what happened. And it gave me the comfort of like, okay, relief, I let it out, but it also gave me the comfort of like not everyone's gonna understand, you know. So yeah, like you said, you got to channel it out some way or another.
Some people have had it easy and they just won't get it, and maybe life will knock them upside the head, and one day, you know, they'll check themselves and figure out, you know, what truly matters. But, you know, I know what matters, and I'm so happy that I had figured this out so young, and I feel like I have, you know, lived a decent bit of life in my 20 years here, and, you know, all those experiences compound. So these experiences are building some good, you know, background set of knowledge I could utilize in my everyday life. And, you know, I know a lot of things that normally you wouldn't know unless you kind of threw yourself into situations. And, you know, as weird as it sounds, just kind of winging it, man. Say someone brings an opportunity upon you, and you know you're capable of doing it. Maybe you've never done it before, but you know you can figure it out. And that's the biggest thing, is not saying no. Not saying no to things that you're scared or uncertain about, but saying yes and figuring it out. If you're one of those people, you'll go really far.
Oh yeah, that was like one of my greatest challenges, was procrastinating or just not believing in myself so much that like I doubted myself. I wasn't getting anywhere just because of myself. And once I started like to defeat that challenge, I realized that most of the times either I got lucky or just things played out my way to where the result was way better than what I expected initially.
Yeah, as an entrepreneur, there's only two things in your way, and that's yourself and the United States federal government and state.
Yeah, for sure, man.
I'm in Chicago. There's so many, you know, laws, regulations, and taxes. It's like I'm jumping through an obstacle course, and everyone's trying to get a little piece of everything, and it's just it's chaos. But I know that if we can make it here, which we've been doing it, we've been here for a year, and we can make it anywhere. We're going out into all these, you know, way more hospitable states, and they're going to take, you know, our platform and run with it, because, you know, there's true Americans elsewhere.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, it is crazy though. Like, I just started the LLC last year, and all the stuff I learned, I'm like, wow, like really, like we did that. We have to do this. But I guess, I mean, it's just the way.
This.
Huh? What? I'm sorry. What'd you say?
I was like, yeah, it's like, that's why accountants exist. You know, you think, you know, what's the point of all this and this and that?
Right.
And you're like, well.
That's why all these jobs are available, huh? Yeah. Well, if you ever come to Arkansas, man, you should holler at me and pay a visit over here.
Definitely, yeah. I might be passing through sometime. I know we're planning on touring all around the country pretty soon. I think I'm going to buy a van, and because I work remote, right? And I'm like, why do I got to live here? I don't. So thinking just about sending it all around and just making things happen, and just spreading the word, and, you know, getting my lady some gigs and having her, you know, flourish. And we're just going to be running around doing what we love, helping people do the same. Nice,
man. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Traveling, just being free, a free human, not a slave.
That's what I'm saying. Too many people, they get overwhelmed with debt at such a young age, and they're grossly misled, and they don't understand, you know, they just don't understand simple finance, I guess. I don't know. And they just screw themselves. And society throws them down that.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you one thing about, like, me. I come from, we're Mexican, right? So we didn't know what credit cards were and all that. I was all new to this whenever, I got out of high school. And because I had my parents teach me what they knew while I was learning what people knew here, I was able to decide, like, okay, what is the best decision? Well, I realized that the best decision was not to pay interest, to go, the frugal way and try to live cheap now, so later on you can flourish way faster. And a lot of people don't see that.
A lot of people
they
don't
want
see that
it
at all.
now.
They don't understand that idea of delayed gratification, that anything good takes time, and that if you're consuming in the short run, you're never going to be able to build in the long run.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah. I'm just glad that there's people to, like, pretty much give reassurance to those statements I create, because I'm young. I'm 25. I don't know how old you are, but there's a lot of people out there that they just want to listen to old heads because they feel like they're the ones with all the answers, when a lot of them are the same ones that tricked us too.
Yeah. So I'm 20 years old, and that's the thing. Like, people like to look towards the later generations for answers, like, because they've been through life. Maybe they have been through life, but maybe they never found the way. Maybe they didn't actualize themselves. Look at them and truly look at the person that's giving you insight and see, do I want to be like them? Like, there's a lot of people out there that say, oh, but that's not safe, this and that. I'm not looking to be safe. I'm 20 years old. I can take risks. I can go out. I can build, because I know if anything happens, I can do it again. And these people, with these mindsets, they're not the people you want to listen to. You're going to have to literally, if you're doing something new, everyone's going to think you're dumb for doing it until it works out.
Oh, yeah. They're going to think you're crazy.
That's what it comes down to, and we all know it's the crazy ones that change the world.
Yeah, I'm surprised that you are 20, man. I thought you were older than that.
Yeah, I've been running around for a bit. I got hit hard by life pretty early, and I was able just to kind of pick myself up and start putting myself together. And then when I did that, I was like, wow, this is truly awesome. And then I started helping people. I helped my first person. I ended up getting this guy paid. Nothing felt better. Nothing feels better to me than paying people who need to be paid, or paying people who are doing what they love. And it's the greatest thing. And when I found that, I found that myself. And I was able just to kind of go out and start building others up, and it just felt so good. It felt so good that I knew I would never stop doing that until the day I died. I'm always going to be, providing insight and showing people, I've been down a hard road. You don't got to do that. Maybe there's a little easier path right here, but and just kind of providing insights and delivering inspiration and motivation, and trying to get people oriented towards their goals. Because a lot of people, they have something in mind, but they don't have the slightest clue on how to get to point A to point B, or point B to point C. But I kind of do, because I've been flopping around. If you roll through life and you're trying things out, you're gonna get kicked around. That's the thing. You learn. Yeah. Every time you get hurt, you learn. And I suffer like a pretty big L probably once a month. That means I'm learning a pretty big lesson every month, and that compounds.
Yeah, and I mean that's good though. I mean, if you weren't, then you wouldn't be growing, or you'd probably be too much in your head that you'd be like, oh, everything's going my way, nothing's gonna stop me.
Yeah, life will humble you fast. That's one thing. When I was young, I was like, I could run around and do whatever all the time, and nothing bad can happen to me. I'm invincible. I'm still pretty young now, but now I know that's not the case.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you just like staying like committed to it, like having that heart, like that leadership heart, and just doing what you do, man. Because it's bigger than I feel like you think it is. Actually,
I think that it's gonna get somewhere soon. And recently, I've been and it was really nice to have the freedom to go out and pursue what I needed to pursue. Because I was able to take basically 2 months off. And just say, all right, listen, I got something a little bit more important than work right now. I gotta run out, and I gotta go get the woman of my dreams. And so, I was able to have the means and the freedom to do that. And I just want to have that be available to everyone. I don't want people to be like, oh, like I can't I can't go court someone because, you know, I got to clock into work on Monday, or this, like, I can't do this, or I can't travel to Indonesia because, you know, Tuesday I got to clock in. I don't want that for anyone. I want people to have the freedom to, you know, work remote or work in person, work a bunch, and then, you know, take a few months off or take a week off, take a few weeks off at their own choice. They don't have to request it from HR or any of this. They just
just live life. Yes, sir. Yeah, that's the ultimate. I think everybody wants that life. They feel like it's so surreal, but it's really possible. It's more possible than we think.
Yeah, a lot of people, they see it and they're like, oh, it's for someone else but not me. And it's like, well, it's for you if you want it. And that's the first thing. You got to want it, and you got to know that you're capable of getting it. And then you can find the way. And then you can find the navigation. Then you go through, and then maybe you get knocked back a bit. But guess what? You learn a bunch, and then you're running faster the next time around.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. So what were you doing before this? Well, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I was a student, and I wasn't doing much, to be honest.
Gotcha. That's cool though, like, because a lot of people, it takes them jobs to realize, you know. So, I mean,
yeah.
I'm not gonna say that your life was perfect or, you know, whatever, because you said you had a lot of trials and tribulations. I mean, everybody has their knockdowns, but aren't you glad that you didn't give up?
Yeah, there's so many opportunities. People go, oh, go back to school, go back to school. I actually received a few scholarships that, you know, were full rides, which was way better than anything I could have, you know, hoped for out of high school. And it was like full rides plus a stipend. They're going to pay me, you know, $300 a month to go to the school, housing, food, everything. And I was like, you know what? And I was still homeless at the time. I go, you know what? No. No, I'm building something cooler. You know, I know it'd be comfortable. But then I'd be in Pennsylvania. You know, I'd be in Pennsylvania. I'd be removed from my, you know, customer base, from my people, from where I'm supposed to be doing my thing. And it was,
you wouldn't be happy.
And I fought and I grinded, and now we're here, and we're hanging out. We've got a couple apartments in Chicago, and I live in a studio with my fiance, and across the hall we got our office. So it's just really ideal. And you know, we're here probably 2/3 of the time. The other third we're running around figuring out, you know, what's going on in the world.
Yeah. It's funny. I mean, now we're talking apartments. I stay in an apartment too, but the idea for this portable studio service thing, like, I know it could work with the idea I'm about to say, a lot of other different, I guess, businesses. So let's say you have a 2-bedroom apartment. The living room would be the waiting room for your studio services, right? If it's a full-on studio company there or whatever business, then you have both rooms that are the studio. Or if you're just starting, you're in one room and the other room is your work room, right? And I was thinking of creating the closets as the merchandise area, and then the kitchen area, the food and snacks and bar, you know, for the people, the creators that need their refreshments and stuff, you know.
I think it's brilliant. I know a guy who's doing something. He's not trying to franchise it or anything, but he's just doing, you know, that same thing. He's doing like a house hack type thing. He's got one room he's living in, the other room's a studio, and the other room's a, you know, a hangout place. And he's making his money, and it's beautiful because that's what he loves to do. And you know, he's getting paid to do it, and that's what it comes down to. You build that audience, you build that those connections with those local, you know, producers or the local rappers, the local scene, and you'll flourish because that's what it comes down to. Like, human beings flourish on relationships.
Oh yeah, and I mean, thankfully for them taxes, you know, we can write it off as an office space.
Yeah, exactly. You know, even better.
Yeah. Well, is there anything that you want to talk about, like, that you want to include that I haven't asked?
Not that I could really think of right now. I mean, my mind's kind of everywhere all the time. And that's, you know, it's a problem, but it's also been pretty beneficial, you know, because I've been able to hop around, you know, not even you know, day by day, but like minute to minute. You know, I'll be on my phone doing one thing, and then next thing I know, I'll be doing a complete different thing. And I think one cool thing we're doing right now is we're building out subsidiaries. So just as you would have like you know, generic versions of all sorts of things. They have internal, fulfillment, and they have external fulfillment. So what it comes down to is we're looking to do the same thing so that some of our favorite people we'll bring in and we'll bootstrap whole companies around them and just say, hey, listen, man, you're the CEO now. Let's run with it. Let's do it. And we're just looking to free people. So our newest subsidiary is called AmericanLandscapeDesigns.com, and it's pretty similar to Work Services in a way that we connect people, but this is just industry specific for landscaping.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, in that case, like for my idea, like if you ever have somebody who's like, who has a similar idea or whatever, and they would like to expand that, you can always refer them to me or reach out to me, and I can work with them or, collaborate with ideas. I feel like eventually I want to create a course to where it teaches people how to start their own like studio service business, and just kind of teach them how to like do it on their own, And I feel like through you that would be way better and possible.
Yeah, we can definitely make that happen. If you add that as a service, I don't know, are you just local, or are you going all around, or can you do stuff remote, or how does that work?
Well, I mean, the idea I just started blueprinting it like this last year, so I haven't really. I'm doing test runs, by myself, with friends and stuff, people I know. And once I get comfortable, like with how everything's working, and I can like do it to where it's like, customer friendly and stuff like that, I'm gonna get the ball rolling. But it would be local right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't be everywhere, so yeah. Like I said, eventually I want to create a course to where like it just teaches people how to do it.
That's the way to do it. I think that's the one thing that. Experience and built up knowledge right there, it's invaluable. And if you could sell a course for like $300, someone is going to find $300,000 worth of value within that course if they can actualize it. And and you're getting paid for doing what you love, and that's what it comes down to. If you find a way to do that, you're winning.
Yeah, and I mean there's platforms out there that have that, but it's just that the way they're set up, I mean, they're always going to have their guidelines or whatever. And like with you, it's just kind of like a freelance thing. People are doing it out on their time.
Yeah, that's the thing that it comes down to is we will never push our workers to, in any direction. They're always free to choose and do and act as they so choose. We are here just to provide that opportunity. Whenever someone needs something done, we got them. And whenever someone needs to get paid for a valuable skill, we got them too.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely going to be sharing work services, whenever I think of it. I just think it's an amazing idea. Like, I mean, the podcasting, people get sponsors and whatnot, but I've always seen it like, if I like something, I'm going to share it as much as I can because it's my platform. Nobody has to pay me. I'm going to share what I want. Nobody's telling me what I should be doing and get paid for it, So it's kind of like the same purpose, but in a different form.
And that way, it's genuine. And that way your audience knows everything you're saying is genuine because it's not, there's no price on your tongue, right?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. That's the point, really. Like, because nowadays people, I mean, they're just doing it for the money. That's all they're doing it for.
Yep, that's the biggest thing, and I think quickly does people realize that very fast that this person's a sellout, this person's just doing it for money or financial gain. And if you stick to yourself, you stick true to your morals, well, you're gonna find your people. That's what it comes down to. Over time, you keep saying the same stuff, and learning and figuring out a better way to deliver that message to people. Over time, the message itself is gonna remain constant, but the way it's told and brought to other people, and the way you deliver it to certain people might have to be different to others. But it's the same message, and just to get that into someone's mind, if you're capable of doing that and you're consistent with your truth, then you're gonna rise. You're gonna rise every day.
Oh yeah, man. I was so afraid before, like, just of acceptance. Like, I would hold my tongue so much that it's like you're scared you're not going to be accepted by your peers, but really you should love yourself enough to be free. And then if they don't accept you, then that's when you realize, oh, these people are not for me or for my circle. There's definitely people out there, and I feel like a lot of people have that fear that there's no one that we can relate to, but there's way more people we can relate to than we think.
That's what it comes down to. And you can't have that fear of failure, because then you'll never do anything. And you can't have that fear of rejection because, again, you'll never do anything. You're going to have to get kicked in the face. You're going to have to be told no. You're going to have to, suffer the pitfalls that comes with trying. And, I'd say that's much better than the alternative of never doing anything and never becoming anything, because, that's just the worst fate I can imagine, is just not even attempt.
Yeah, your whole life is going to consist of what if and never what, what happened.
Right. Like, I like to see how things play out. And sometimes I'll do and say things just to see how it'll play out, And I don't do it as often as I do, as I did in the past. But, I think I got a decent grasp on humans. And I think that's where my forte lies, is just, interpersonal communication and just kind of like talking to people and figuring out how we could, both provide value to one another, because it's everywhere. And I know that I can benefit someone. And maybe they won't benefit me equally, but, it doesn't cost me anything. And I know that what goes around comes around. Like you were saying, that's what it comes down to, is provide value, get value, feed and be fed. And there's no other way to do it. Us humans are collaborating creatures. And those who collaborate best are the ones who find the most success.
Oh, yeah. We can't get greedy with the creativity. Like, songs are samples of samples. Everything's a sample of everything. You can't get greedy with it. We got to share the love. Spread the love. Spread the energy.
That's what it comes down to. I think that's what our generation is lacking. Everyone, they're trying to, and that's what the thing is, you're never going to get anywhere. People, they say, oh, I got this great business idea, but I can't tell you about it. I'm like, oh, all right, well, is it really that great then? Because it looks like it's going nowhere if you're not going to tell anyone about it. Like, they think that, like, everything has to be so proprietary, and it's like, well, if you're not going to even put your ideas out there, if you're never going to convince others to come join you and build the thing with you, you're never going to find an audience. You're never going to find customers if you never talk about your product, and then that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, how are people going to know about it if you never talk about it? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's like I'm pretty open with everything. There's certain personal things that I haven't disclosed yet, but I will. I just need to do it in the right manner, and so that's what it comes down to. Is,
takes time.
Everything happens in time, but I think there's great people everywhere. You just have to find them.
Oh yeah. It takes time, man. It takes a lot of patience too. I'm a very patient person by nature. Like, there's a lot of things where I fall into circumstances I don't even know how I've done it, but people tell me, like, man, you're better than me. And I look back at it, I'm like, I don't even know how I even handled that situation, like, just patience. And that has taught me a lot. Like, in life, there's going to be things where you can't control things, right? And you can't let that affect you too much. You can't let it tear you apart or really build you too much, because at the end of the day, it's just a piece of something. It's not really you.
Exactly. I'd say be hyper concerned about those things that you can control, and then don't even bat an eye about the things you can't. Just go with the flow, because guess what? Yeah, like you're saying, there's some things in life that as much as you want, you just can't exert your influence over, and it will not go your way. Or maybe it will go your way, but whatever it is, you can't force it. And life is life, and it's an endless bob and weave, and just an endless stream of things that happen. And I just think that over time, you can find your way, but that's what it takes. Is it takes time and effort, and it's not just going to come to you.
Yeah, you got to go up and get it. Yeah. Well, are you active on? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, go on.
No, I was just gonna ask you: are you active on social media, like on Facebook, Instagram? What all social media platforms do you have, so I can put them in the description?
Yeah, I'd say I'm most active on Instagram and Snapchat. Honestly, I built my business on Snapchat. I was just kind of taking videos of myself, throwing it on my story, say, hey, listen, this is what I'm doing. I could use, I need people who are capable of this, that, or the other thing. Or I'd say, I need guys here at this time, and here's the rate I'm going to pay you. And it's just open, and anyone of my friends or network could have seen it. And that's how people started pouring in. They're like, I need to get paid temporarily. I'm back on break. I'm here, and I hate my job. I'm working at this shitty job, getting paid $14 an hour. And I asked management, how am I going to rise? And they laughed at me. And I fucking, told them to piss off. And so now, and it's just like I hear a lot of cool stories. And I see a lot of people looking to improve themselves. And I'm just here. I'm ready to help them do exactly that. And so, yeah, XANDERKAZ. On Instagram, XANDERKA with 3 Z's, ZZZ. Snapchat, LinkedIn, I'm Xander Kazanowski, KAZANOWSKI. You can find me at Facebook, the same name.
Alexander Kazanowski. I'm sorry, I was saying Kazanowski. My bad.
No problem.
All right. So yeah, I'll definitely put all that in the description for you. So anyone who's listening and is wanting to try work services or just look into work services more and have questions, go to the description so you can be guided by Mr. Mr. Alexander here.
Yeah, we're always looking for great people. Whether it be our back end, running the company itself, or if you want to be a service provider, hop on, check out the website. But if you're looking to get a, good bag of experience, if you're looking to blast, I'm looking for leaders. We've got a lot of people who need direction. And, feel free to message me on LinkedIn. We're always hiring.
As far as leaders go, in what fields do you need them?
All sorts. So what it comes down to is that we're essentially a logistics company. So we need people who can talk to people on both ends. Talk to contractors, talk to clients, and arrange deals as we build out our tech. We need people who are capable of spreading the gospel. So great marketers, great orators, great salespeople. We need people who are capable of making awesome, digital advertisements. We need people who can write blog posts. We need people on all ends. We're hiring on every facet of our company at all times, because we know that when someone comes in and they're interested in working for us because they love the idea, I'm never going to say, we're only hiring for, entry-level sales, or we're only hiring a software developer right now. No, that's not the case. We're always hiring if it's the right person, and we're going to find a way to utilize their skill set to benefit not only ourselves, because we're not selfish, but we're going to make sure that the role will benefit the individual that's in the role. Because if they're not growing, if they're not learning, then they're slowly decaying, and that's just the truth.
Well, you heard him, guys. I didn't have to say any of it. He is hiring for any position, so if you're tired of your job, you know where to go. You know where to go. And like I told you, I'm definitely gonna hop on there tonight, and I'm gonna start to build my little profile, because I have a lot of things that I want to do, and I feel like I can't do them here because here not a lot of people are interested in it. And I mean, you have the platform.
That's what it comes down to, is we're just looking to connect people, and if you're capable, then we're capable of finding you clients, and we'd love to.
Sure. I appreciate you joining the podcast and you reached out first, and I appreciate you willing to reschedule and bearing with me. I was still starting this up, so it was still a learning curve for me. I'm just glad it worked out.
Of course, yeah. Thank you so much for having me on. I love the conversation, and looking forward to seeing how you're doing down the line. We should definitely keep in touch, and if you're ever in Chicago, we could definitely use a good audio engineer.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm actually gonna send you my personal phone number here. We can link here shortly. I got ideas, and I'm sure you do too, man. The studio, the music, and all that. I feel like we can make great things happen just between us two, and a lot of other people can use this channel too to just do what they want in life. That's my goal, to bring as many people as I can on this podcast, talk about what they really love doing in life, and finding something that they should be doing other than what they're doing now. That's my sole purpose.
Exactly, and I love that purpose, and I think definitely, you got my number. Reach out. Let's run it. Let's see what we can do. I'm sure there's a lot of synergies.
Oh yeah, yes sir. Well, that's the end for the show. You guys, like I said, check out the description, wurkservices.com. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to tap in and check back with us. There's always new things that arise: motivation, inspiration, love, great energy. Here's the place. Hourglass Productions and Wurk Services. It's been a great time with you, Alexander. So, do you have any closing statements for the crowd?
No, I think the only thing I'd say is just be yourself, and the world will love you, and that's what it comes down to. Maybe not the whole world, but you'll find your people, and it's better to be yourself and find your people than try to be someone else and find their people, because their people usually suck.
Yes, sir. Be yourself. Be yourself. Well, thank you, man. We'll catch you guys on the next one.